it's Maya here from the Engaged team. Here at Catch the Fire at Lindenwold High School, everything has started and it's going amazing so far. We are distributing the backpacks to children in our community as they prepare for a new school year.
I am here with Coach Brian, who is a coach for the wrestling team here at Lindenwold High School. So I just want to ask you real quick, how important is it for this community, working in this community, how important is the Catch a Fire initiative?
Oh, I mean, it's really important, you know, especially the area we're at in Lindenwold. A lot of these young kids, man, they need help, they need direction. You know, it's a lot, you know, going on in this area that we're trying to fix. That's why we out here giving away free backpacks and, you know, promoting our wrestling program, you know, just to show the community that, hey, you guys are here to help and so are we. Yeah.
So how has the experience been thus far?
It's been an amazing experience. I got a chance to change a lot of lives from, you know, young to high school to college. And I love doing giveaways like what you guys are doing. So, you know, I was a kid myself, so I know how it is to get, you know, a backpack when we couldn't afford it, you know, back in the day. So, you know, this is amazing what you guys are doing.
Praise the Lord, Bethany. We're so glad that you've helped us with this endeavor as we seek to continue to help our community with our back to school drive. Every year we give away backpacks and school supplies, and we're so glad that you all have joined in to help us with this endeavor. All your gifts, whether donations financially or the backpacks or supplies, are greatly appreciated. They're going to help the children's community, and we thank God for each and every one of you. You're able to help us with backpacks, school supplies, even helping the teachers with some of their supplies, as well as helping out some parents with groceries and gym clothes for the children. It was all because God moved you, and you listened to that movement and donated to this cause. And we're praying that God will bless you with a psalm blessing, that as you help those in need, He'll heal your body, He'll bless you, defeat your enemies, and you'll watch God move in a tremendous way. On behalf of Bishop Evans, and I'm sure he'll talk about it, and the whole church, thank you. God bless you. And we hope to see you next time. God bless you.
Jesus said, "This is the first and greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it. Love others as you love yourself." So the question is, do you love? I mean, do you really live the definition of love? Are you patient? Are you kind? Do you celebrate in the blessings of others? Are you humble? Have you died to self? Are you slow to anger? Do you keep no record of wrongs? Do you always protect? Always trust? Always hope? Always persevere? This is what it means to love, the way God intended. So the question remains, do you love?
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans, the #1. We'd love for you to join us, and do us a favor right now. Why don't you like and subscribe to us and share with all those that are in your body of friends, your feed, on everybody that you have as followers and friends. Join them, invite them to join us on the On Point broadcast. We talk about those things which we believe are relevant to you, the life you live every day, but always from a kingdom perspective. So we talk about politics and sports, major events, both nationally, internationally, and locally. We like to talk about those things that are relevant, the latest things in the news, but always giving you kingdom or biblical perspective on the things that you're facing every day. It's a lively conversation. It's a conversation that we love having with you. And you can always call us toll free from anywhere in the world. 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We love to talk to you. about what we have on our list for things to bring up to you, but also we're always open to other topics that would be of interest to our listening audience. So once again, thank you for joining us this morning, and I want to introduce to you some of you that are new watchers, listeners, to my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Good morning.
Doing all right?
Yes, sir.
So we are going to have another stimulating conversation. We do have a couple rules. We can disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable as we do it. So we'd love to hear from you. Our callers call from all over the place, south, west, north, it doesn't matter. We're always glad to speak to people about those things that are on their hearts and relevant as it relates to culture, faith, politics, sports, you name it. No subject is really out of bounds for us. As I think about all the years we've been doing this, no subject is really out of bounds because we believe the Bible attaches itself and addresses every nuance of life that we will face. 866-743-8267, 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call right now. And don't forget, invite some friends, tag some people, tell them to join us on the On Point broadcast today. So, I was talking to some people that I know down in Florida this week, and Carolinas also regarding the hurricane, and a lot of flooding, some displacement. The people that I know in Jacksonville, they did not have anything but strong winds and maybe some inconveniences in their travel and all, but all in all, it seemed like they handled it pretty well.
Yeah, they are. They are. I was reading something. I didn't get a chance to read it all about the hurricanes and the insurance companies now.
Okay.
And, certain insurance companies are pulling out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And the cost is, of course, on the people.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, I had to read the whole thing. There's some mitigating things that the government could put through.
Mm-hmm.
Florida could.
Yeah.
To help the people with their insurances and stuff, but they're not.
We won't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm expecting government to care for people, which they have shown over the years that's like fourth or fifth.
I think the governor is supposed to address those things and make life easier for his constituents if he can.
Yeah, I think so.
But but you told me years ago, people vote against their best interests.
They do, all the time.
And when we talk to people from Florida about their homeowners, they say they go down there because the taxes are lower. But then you get down there and you find out your homeowners is thousands of dollars higher than wherever you lived before.
Yeah, I think something's like $4,000 to $6,000
a year in homeowners. You leave here thinking you're not going to have high property taxes, and you get down there and your property taxes were. But then your insurance costs are super. Yeah. And I think you have to get a rider for your hurricane.
Okay.
Which is more money.
On top of that.
So how do you live in a state where hurricanes are pretty normal and you can't get insurance? And if you do, it's $6,000, $7,000, $8,000.
Yeah.
And imagine owning a home that's worth about $500,000, $400,000.
Yeah.
That insurance is going to be at least in the $10,000 range.
Absolutely. Especially, and I know the people that in like Palm Springs, they ain't worried about it in that area.
But still.
But they still must be high on those $1 million houses.
Absolutely.
You right there on the
water.
On the water, it's
got, but the government will not mitigate that. Now, why? Now that you brought it up, what could be the logical reason that if I'm in a state and I voted for the governor and he has the ability to help us mitigate these costs, why wouldn't you do that? Because that's getting in your business too much? That's too big of government?
That single issue
socialism?
Voter, that single issue voter thing.
Okay.
It goes back to that. If he's against woke and that thing,
okay, he can charge me all the money.
Vote. Yeah, I'll be mad at them a little bit, but it's the pettiness. What we talked about, I keep bringing the story up.
Yeah.
That guy in Pittsburgh said, as long as Trump makes those football players stand up for that national anthem, I'll vote for him. Even though he promised steel jobs come back, I lost my job.
That sounds insane to me.
It is.
So, that sounds like an individual without responsibility.
He's an old man.
Well, yeah, everybody's gone. He's living by himself probably.
Yeah.
But a guy with responsibility has to feed people, clothe people, house people.
Yeah.
is not going to say, I don't think he's going to say, just because he makes them bow down, I'll pay $10,000 or more a year in whatever. Somebody's responsible people, their thinking, I believe, is a little more critical than that. I would hope.
Would hope. Being very generous.
I would hope. I'm trying to be liberal this morning. But to me, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
How are you going to cry about your car insurance going up $300, but you won't complain about a guy taking your pension to use it for something else? And you'll elect him.
Yep. As long as he does these two things.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. Yep.
So, where do we start today? Let's start with the shootings.
Okay.
I'm under the impression that the same thinking that you just revealed to us regarding, if you just do this one thing, I'll vote for you. I think that same political insensitivity is happening right now concerning guns. I don't know how the gun lobby influences everyone other than with money.
Yep.
But when we get to the point when we talk about a shooting and we say, well, only one person died,
Yep.
something has gone tragically wrong.
Yep.
So it's not that big a deal. And so the pro-gun people want everybody to be able to buy a gun. But they won't admit that there are some people that shouldn't have them.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody should be able to own. The guy in the Jacksonville one, they showed, I think, a couple of years ago, he had some mental instability issues.
Yeah.
And still got a gun legally.
Yeah.
In spite of.
Yeah. Because the gun, they would rather sacrifice human beings in great numbers so they won't have to take an administrative step to get a weapon.
Right. Yep.
And is it possible that some of the people that are pushing this, if they change the laws, will not be eligible to buy?
Some may not be. Majority probably fine, but the rest. We're such a reactionary country.
Yeah.
It's like something happens, then we'll respond to it.
Yeah, but not definitively. We do the hearts and prayers. My thoughts and prayers are with you, but are we going to change the legislation? Because I learned recently, and I guess I've been behind a dark curtain, that the NRA's response to Sandy Hook was, you stop a bad guy with a gun by giving a good guy one. Their gun sales went through the roof after Sandy Hook based on that statement.
Yep.
I've never. So it doesn't matter whether you're qualified mentally. What a cold-hearted response.
Yes. Yeah. We needed more people, good people with guns. But the contradiction to me.
So they needed a shootout in the schools.
Yeah, they needed a shootout in the school.
Okay.
I'm glad you phrased like a shootout in a school.
In the school. A shootout in the school is what you
in a school. That's what they were hoping for.
Not let's make it so that you can minimize the possibility of someone coming in the school.
Right. Yeah. But contradictory part was crazy to me, and we've said it before.
Yeah.
When Trump went to the NRA to do his speech, no guns were allowed in the room when he did his speech.
Isn't that amazing?
You could not bring your guns that day when he was there.
Isn't that amazing?
To the
NRA.
To the NRA. Am I the only one? I'm sure you see that.
No. It made perfect. I'm like, okay, so you can carry a gun. I get it. You're the president, but you go to the NRA and tell them today you can't bring your guns in the building.
Here. No. So that whole good guy theory doesn't
gone
when it's the president.
Gone.
I'm all for protecting the president's life.
You got to. But if you're going to give the right to carry, and I get security, I get all that, but principally,
yes.
You had an NRA convention. Everybody's walking around with guns. Guns are on the tables. Guns are hanging on the racks. But today, Leave all your stuff home.
Yes. Yeah, I get if they were balanced and said, look, everybody shouldn't own a gun. We're pro gun. You can own a gun,
absolutely,
but not everybody should own one.
No.
If they were that way, I'd be like, fine, good, keep the guns away when the president comes.
And known criminals are not the only people that have them, so they can throw that out the window with the rest of the rhetoric that they have. There's a lot of people that are unknown that have guns that shouldn't.
Yep.
You know, how do you send a guy that's obviously deranged? How does he qualify?
Yeah. That one shooting in that Texas church a couple years ago, if the military had to kick him out because he had mental issues and he couldn't carry a gun in the military,
that's pretty bad.
Why should he be able to carry a gun in?
Everybody carries a gun in the military.
I'm like,
they said, no, not you.
Yeah, but you can carry one outside.
That's crazy.
And even the people in the military say their AR-15s and those things, they can't just walk around unless they're authorized to carry them around.
Right.
They got to lock them up.
Right.
When they're walking around doing regular stuff.
They're war weapons.
Yeah.
And not you waging war on somebody because you don't like the way they look.
Right. Yep.
So then they had the UNC school shooting. Graduate student shoots an associate professor. Did they ever find out what his motive was?
They didn't reveal it yet, no.
You didn't like the grade that he got?
Yeah, they didn't reveal it.
Okay, so.
But
just.
Yeah. The whole school on lockdown
and people think that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's always the gun's not bad, the person with the gun is bad. Okay, so then prevent the bad person from getting the gun.
Right, exactly. That's the point.
Okay. It seems so logical to me.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I don't get it. I'm and we can move off of this because I have a lot of feelings about this. I think it's tragic that we're in a place that our kids go to school, elementary school, junior high school, and they have to have shooter drills at school. And that's not enough impetus to, we need to prevent people from being able to carry them in.
Yes.
Like school districts will not budget for the type of security that's needed. If they're going to let people walk around with guns, then you need to be protecting the kids. They don't want to spend those millions of dollars a year that's going to take to literally protect them. Because I don't think, now I could be wrong, if you got a school that's 120,000 square feet and you got one guy going to guard the whole school, something's wrong with that.
No. Because one kid can let somebody in through this back door, and the cameras are fine, but the camera can't pick up.
The camera can't stop anybody.
So, person's all the way over there.
It's as crazy as I was having a conversation with somebody one time. This is a principle thing, and we were talking about new car versus used car. And the person said, "Well, if you get a used car, you just need a good maintenance plan." And I had to say, the maintenance plan does not stop the car from breaking down.
Yeah, right.
So if you're middle of the night driving and your car breaks down, having a great maintenance plan is not helping you at that moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we're thinking about. We got one guy in a school, 2,000 kids, 400 adults, 25 doors, and the guy's supposed to cover all that by himself.
Yeah. And that's why they said, well, the teachers need to have guns.
I don't want my kid in a classroom
Thank you.
where the teacher has a gun and
then look.
No.
The movies make gunfights look easy.
They're not glamorous.
But they are,
they're not glamorous.
I mean, come on.
Most of these people that are making these laws have never been shot at.
Yeah.
Once you've been shot at and know the terror that somebody's pointing something at you that can take your life, it's a whole different ballgame. But I just don't think the kids need to be in an environment where they wonder if somebody knocks on the door, is this it?
Yeah. In the UNC one, one of the students in the student paper.
Yeah.
One of the students that was in a lockdown, they let her write out her text messages with the people that was communicating with her. I mean, it was laced with cussing in that situation, I understand.
Yeah.
And they put just blatantly what was said to show people, like, this is what our kids are dealing with.
The stress of it.
Yeah, I think one person that was there, it was her third school shooting in her lifetime.
No.
1 is traumatizing.
3? I mean, you'd get nervous if you hear somebody walking down the hallway between class.
Yeah.
Or somebody slam a door real loud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look, when Columbine happened,
yeah,
when they had the trench coat thing,
mm-hmm.
I was a sophomore, I think, or a junior in high school when it happened.
Okay.
We were in math class, and a couple days after that, and these kids with these black trench coats, all dressed up in black. That's the goth kids. It was the goth era.
Okay.
So it was normal.
Yes.
But
now you wonder.
Now at that point,
yes, sir.
They walked by our classroom, and one of the girls screamed because, again,
you don't know.
It was just one of those, and everybody got nervous because she literally thought it could have been in.
And I don't blame her in that situation.
We were all nervous the days after Columbine. It was tight in school.
Yeah, of course it would have been.
Yeah.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We're going to our phones now. We've got Robin from Bear, Delaware, Danny from Lauderhill, Florida. We've got a few other lines open up. You can talk to us about what we've been talking about so far, or something else. Texas set up a floating wall with circular saws at the Rio Grande border. Is that
So when the migrants try to cross it, they'll get cut.
They get cut up?
Yeah.
So barbed wire's not sufficient anymore?
This is just right through the water. It's like these big red balls.
It's in the water?
Yes, it's in the water, sitting on the ground. These big red ball-looking things, and circular saws in the middle of them.
The circular saws aren't moving?
No, they're not moving. But
okay.
But those are balls that move. So if you try to climb over it, you'll slide right into it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And there's stuff at the bottom, so if they try to go under it, they'll get cut going under.
What?
Yeah.
That's like some horror movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the governor down there? Freddy Krueger? Jeez, man. Here's what I think. And I like to watch a lot of historically set movies. Mm-hmm. It amazes me the brutality that human beings can imagine.
Yes. Yep.
If you can spend that much time thinking of how to be brutal to people,
mm-hmm.
why isn't there any thought on how to fix the problem?
Yeah. Yep.
We're just going to become more and more brutal.
Yep.
Why don't we fix the problem?
Easy to be that way, depraved.
Yeah. Just I'm looking at the inventiveness of brutality, and it blows my mind.
Yeah. What you said, hate and malice, murder, and all those things don't start. It's that hate and malice built up over time.
It builds.
Yeah.
Let's go to Robin. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing?
I'm glad when you said, is it Freddy Krueger down there?
Somebody, man, come on.
Pro-life, though.
Oh.
They pro-life, though.
Texas pro-life, yeah.
Okay, I want to really be quick because Danny's calling, and I want to see if y'all to ask him this question, or he might hear me.
Okay.
First, Bishop, I want to just say thank you for your teaching, especially the illustrations that you've been doing.
Okay.
And I know that God has really been giving you messages to lead us to 2024. Okay. I need your help with something. Okay, first, I love your sense of humor when you laughed at yourself hunting to the refrigerator and Bible study.
Absolutely.
I was home bagging up. The Bishop's so funny.
Well, you gotta laugh at yourself, or you can't really live.
For real, I gotta laugh at myself all the time.
Yeah, we laugh at you too.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Right.
Okay, now I know you said in 2023 is the year of reset, and I believe your teachings this year, especially in August, has been leading us up to 2024. Okay, my question is, I've been through a lot of obstacles when I fell in January. That helped me to get closer to God, pray, increase my faith, trust Him. Now, in June, I was driving, and a deer ran in front of me, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
but
what they do.
God spared me because I was still able to drive my car and work. It's in the shop now, and I had to rent a car through Avis that does for Uber drivers. Now, your opinion, was this a reset for me to grow as far as my faith, learn more about trusting God through obstacles, to push through by prayer and just knowing that God had a reason to bring me through all of this. Is this to increase, my faith, to get me ready for whatever he has in store for me for 2024? This was a big faith test.
I think that there's a couple of things that have to be talked about first before we get to that answer. The first thing that has to be talked about is, let's take for instance, the deer. God did not put the deer in your way to cause you to have to, increase your faith. But God will use events ultimately to our good. So he didn't want you to hit the deer. But those things are natural occurrences where you live and where we live. But the natural occurrence, or whatever the event is, God will use that event to increase your faith, to increase your devotion to him, should stimulate your prayer life, should stimulate your faith, should stimulate your belief in God, should stimulate your reading the Bible. So everything that happens, he says he's going to work it out for our good. So that presupposes that there will be some negative things that happen. But God's going to work them out for our good. And our good is closer relationship with him, clearer understanding of who we are. And one of the things God really wants us to do in now and always want to do, but I believe in the reset, reignite, restore model of a new wave of glory, I believe that God wants us to try as hard as we can to see ourselves through his eyes. If we can just get that, he sees us in his image and likeness, and we can attach our behavior to that image and likeness. So watch this. So we can see ourselves like he sees us. New Testament talks about reckon yourselves righteous, reckon yourselves this or that. So the big problem is not the way God sees us. It's us not seeing ourselves the way God sees us.
Right.
It'll put you on a whole new path.
Right, get your point, because I've been growing and growing, but when those incidents happened, it was like the Holy Spirit was talking to me, letting me know, these things are going to happen because of the world we live in.
Do.
But God wants to see if you trust him to get through, and that's what, I've learned, through these obstacles. And then your teaching on the mind that you did. Yeah, that's really a powerful message.
Thank you.
I, appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. But I wanted to know what
I thought you said you're going to be short.
Well, I had to ask you that.
We messing with you. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask this question, and then the Republican who said the councilwoman was similar to the KKK. Also, what do y'all think about the electric cars? That's what I wanted.
Electric cars?
Yeah, because with the hurricanes and people have to evacuate, and if there's no power, you can't charge your car. That's all they're renting now at rental companies because they're getting money from the government.
Sure.
And that's what I have. I don't like it. I was so frustrated the first 2 days because you got to watch your miles because the battery can die.
Well, you got to watch your miles just like you watch the gas in your car. So,
you just have to stop and go charge all
well,
the
just
time.
like you got to stop. No, you don't have to stop all the time.
Well, if you working for us, we working all day. We got to stop.
Yeah, you got to charge charge the car, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they're making out in Florida when they got to charge their cars and there's no power.
Here's the problem. You can't get gas if there's no power. The gas pumps don't work if there's no power.
Oh, you know what? That's right.
So it's
Duh, Robert.
Yeah, you can't buy any gas, girl. The gas station.
You got gas stored at the house somewhere.
Gas station ain't working either if the power goes out.
That's true. Yeah, but what about that? What's his name? That one, the Republican candidate that starts with the R, when he said that.
Oh, you talking about Rob? What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's nuts.
The last name V.
Yeah, he's nuts. Okay. Yeah, he's trying to appeal to a specific base, but he's saying stuff that he has no experience at, but the people that he's talking to don't know enough to know that he's inaccurate.
KKK. Yeah. Well, that's all I have.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See y'all tomorrow. Y'all
all
have
right.
the rest of your day.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
866-743-8267, 867-843-8267. We're going to Danny, Lauderhill, Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick, staff. How y'all doing today?
All right. Welcome to On Point once again.
Yes.
What's happening, man? Tell me what's going on. How you do? First off, how did you guys make it out through the hurricane?
We just had wind. That was
it.
Okay. We were on the, as you know, the southern end of the state, so we just had wind. It was just a regular day, with wind.
Okay. So it was, what, they say it was around 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, but you know that it wasn't as bad as what they had like up north. And the difference is that I noticed that the media, the way that they cover things, the way that things happen, is that our governor, from certain people, they praised him like, oh, he left the campaign to go to see about the people. He should have never left to begin with. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How can you be the governor and run for president at the same time?
Well, you really can't do your job.
He should have vacated the office of governor to see about.
Yeah, but didn't your guy get the guys in power to change the rules so he could do that?
Yes.
Okay.
They changed the rules so that he could go ahead and pursue that, and also a lot of the expense that was taken on by the state for the campaign that would happen.
I understand the state is bearing a lot of debt in the millions for him to campaign. Obviously, a campaign that he's going to lose.
Now, a couple of things I just wanted to touch on, which you all started off with Pastor Nick was right on point with this. As far as insurance coverage for the storms and things like that, it's totally against the citizens. For us to have hurricane insurance, it's costing the homeowners everything to have that coverage.
So it's very high monetarily?
Extremely high. Extremely. I mean, each year that goes up into the thousands that go ahead and have the coverage. Now, this is what the insurance companies have done with the legislature. They rezone areas, saying that you don't need any flood insurance.
In Florida?
Yes. listen
Stop lying, Danny. You're not supposed to tell us.
No.
Where in Florida? State's surrounded by water. Where?
Yes. All over.
They got beaches in Jacksonville. Where?
Right. Inland is not inland like us.
No.
Now listen to this, Bishop. Let's say you have a hurricane, right?
Yeah.
And you have wind damage, but then with the wind, the driving rain, it wets your house.
Sure it does.
Okay? Now, you will not be covered if you have the damage, but the rest of the house is not damaged. The walls would have.
So if your roof gets damaged, that's not addressable by the insurance company?
No, they will address the wind issue. The problem is that your inside, the structure itself, by the driving wind, if it wets the drywall, what have you have mildew and all that, you're not covered.
They won't pay for it.
They won't pay for it. So now they say, now what happened? You have no flood insurance.
I don't get that. I know Pastor Nick just told us earlier that insurance companies are pulling out.
That's right.
Because the claims are excessive, and they would be. You know, you have a hurricane, you've got $1 billion worth of claims every time that happens, and Florida gets what, 4 or 5 hurricanes a year. You know, I have friends who their home properties sit on those canals.
Exactly.
And when they have one of these hurricane situations, the wind is not their issue. Is that they watch the water from the canal start creeping up their backyards.
Correct.
To the house.
Yes.
So flooding is a major possibility.
Yeah.
Not to mention gators on the backyard.
Right.
You know, that not to mention that small thing of alligators that's kind of sunning in your backyard and stuff. You know, now that they figured the river's expanded, let me see, you know, what's happening in this yard here. There might be a dog or two there. I don't, but then the state, knowing the condition, I would think would step in and do something for the people.
No, they will not. They will not. This is what happens, is that, let's say, the governor, what he should have started doing, first of all, preparation. Now, I always say in March, that's when I start preparing.
Okay.
In March. I don't wait until a week or a couple of days before the hurricane comes. I'm already set up.
Okay.
All right? Now, my wife has a checklist
Mm-hmm.
that she has me to go through. Check the generators, make sure they're working, make sure we got food, make sure we got water, we have gas. All of these things. All right? Now, if you notice that what happened with him is that he came in at the last minute telling people to buckle down. Now, if you didn't go and get your food, what you going to go for? There's nothing going to be on the shelves. You got a problem.
Well, tell me this, why, like when I saw some pictures, I saw a picture of a guy that was actually driving around in the hurricane. What kind of mindset is that?
That's craziness. Because what happens, Bishop, you hit the nail on the head. There's so many canals, so much water around, you cannot navigate. You lose all thoughts as far as where is the canal. What's ahead?
Okay.
And they end up driving into the canal.
End up driving into one.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a couple people who they have water in immediate proximity to their homes because there's a canal at the end of their property. And they literally, every time there's a hurricane, because what happens is the what's the swamp down there? Everglades.
Everglades.
Yeah, Everglades swell, the canals swell, and then you've got water everywhere.
Yeah. Now what our city does is that they clean all the drains starting in March. They clear them, and constantly every month they go in clearing the drains.
Okay.
Making sure no debris is stopping it.
Okay.
The next thing they do is that they monitor the level of the canal. If it gets to a certain level, they pump that out to the sea.
Okay.
So that it doesn't have it's making it safer. If we do have an absorbent amount of rain, that it will be able to handle it.
But I think it's very difficult to try to measure the impact that nature is going to have.
Yeah.
You prepare the city from a previous hurricane, like the building codes change when hurricanes come through. You change those, and then here comes another hurricane, nothing like the one you had before, and the updated building codes don't apply to the storm. Mm-hmm. They're built to withstand the last storm, and that's all you can really do. You can't outpace the storm system.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing that you have, why do you allow people to build a house on sticks? And you're on the beach or you're in the middle of the bay. Why do you let people do that?
Well, there's got to be a monetary reason for that.
Money.
There's got to be a monetary reason. Probably tax revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you tell someone to evacuate and they refuse not to evacuate. Then they call 911. They want somebody to risk their life
to come and get them. Yeah, I know.
Okay, now one more thing and I'll get out of the way.
Okay.
Let's talk about Jacksonville.
Yes.
The shooting in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about how the governor handled situations in crisis. He had the nerve to go ahead and show up right after the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He was booed.
They booed him out of that place.
I understand that.
Booed him out of there. So he had to stop.
He had to stop what he was saying?
Yeah.
Okay, now here's
so
where
loud.
the insult comes, Bishop.
Okay.
He throws money at the people.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm going to pay for this, I'm going to pay for that. And then on top of that, he turns around and says that I will go ahead and make sure we have a bill to build or construct a museum.
A museum?
Black History Museum.
Get out of Dodge.
Based off whose version?
Whose version of Black History?
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Remember, his story, not our story.
It's his story. Okay.
But my thing, if you keep going around with this whole woke thing and all this stuff like that, and I'm not saying that he's responsible for everybody's personal decisions.
Right.
But crazy people will attach themselves to certain things and go do something crazy.
Fanning the flame.
Absolutely.
Fanning the flame.
Yeah, you can't.
Unbelievable. So he thought that was going to appease the neighborhood? the neighborhood they're in, they need more than a black museum down there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
They need more than the black museum. Hey. Don't get me started. Okay. Thank you, Danny.
Okay, Bishop.
I'll talk to you, man. Tell my sister I said hey. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Let's go to Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, man. You doing all right post-hurricane?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We only got a few speeder bands, maybe 40, 50 mile an hour wind.
Okay.
It was only for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Now, the crazy governor, he got booed, but he also is trying to amend with us black folk by giving, I think, like $1 million for security to upgrade at black colleges.
That's not enough.
I agree. But to him, it's, something where I think he's trying to, he knows he's stepped in it, and he's a little too late. Too little too late. But, he's working it, trying to give back. Like I said, he got booed crazy the other day.
I had the privilege of chairing and serving as trustee and then chairing the board at the oldest HBCU in the nation, and throwing $1 million at a college campus that's about 80 acres, 90 acres for security is basically asking you to get a couple of estimates and buy 2 or 3 cameras and the monitors to go along with them. It's just that's almost insulting. It is insulting to me. And the other thing that bothers me is he thinks he understands those constituent psychology. Let me say I'm going to give him $1 million and that'll satisfy him and make them all like me now.
Yeah.
It's not going to erase what he does. I called one of my pastor friends who pastors in Jacksonville the day of the shooting, asked him about, and it was funny. When it was going on, that's when I called him. I didn't know there wasn't in no news yet.
Okay.
It was happening, and I happened to call him, and he said, "There's shooting about 3 blocks from my church."
Wow.
And everything's. Let me get back to you. And then we talked the next day, and he said to me, it's a bad time to be black in Florida.
Yeah.
But I hear people saying, maybe you can help me with this, and Tom, you can help me with this too. Why do African Americans want to move to a state that's obviously hostile to African Americans? Why would you want to move there?
Bishop, I'll tell you.
Why would you want to take your kids there?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that hostile. Moving here a couple of years ago.
You were before DeSantis.
You were before DeSantis, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But since DeSantis, things have been flipping bad.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Texas. Why? I wouldn't. I've got family friends that moved to Texas in the midst of all this stuff. Why would you go there?
Yeah. I mean, I get some economics.
It's all economics.
Yeah. Getting paid certain salaries to go down there, and
yeah, but it
depends on where
you go down there trying to run away from the property tax. Okay, you get down there and you got to go to the bank to get a loan for homeowners insurance. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something I bet you don't see. What I see, and it bugs me. I could be out at the store, and I'll see a pickup truck ride by with Confederate flags or either a big Trump sign.
Okay.
And it's not once a month.
It's
at least once or twice a week. And I bet you don't see that in Lindenwold.
Oh no, you're seeing them up here now.
Well, you're seeing more people with stuff on the fences of their houses. The problem is, and I know a couple people that are MAGA Republicans. Their mindset, when Trump got in office, their mindset was he was going to be there forever.
Yep.
So they pulled the cover off their real feelings, and there's kind of like a hesitancy now because the cat's out of the bag, as Grandma used to say.
Yep.
And it's not going back in.
Nope.
You know, people have created a perception that when the political climate changes, and it's going to change, they're going to want people to treat them like they did before the cat got out of the bag.
Yep.
And I don't think people are going to be able to restore those relationships.
Nope.
Yep.
I mean, on a daily basis, you see the flag, with the police flag, where they got like they did the you know what I'm talking about, they changed the flag. I mean, just yesterday, riding by, I saw a guy in a van, Trump 2024, make elections votes count again, or something like that, next to a picture with guns. I mean, you're seeing this stuff
a lot.
People forget, like we talked about last week, South Jersey is country.
Yeah.
Certain parts of it is.
Well, some of it's Klan country.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it's Klan country. You go down to Salem and, you know, you're still advised to ride in the daytime down there.
Right, yeah.
Which is crazy in 2023.
Yeah. Yep.
Just something else. When it comes to hurricanes, hurricane insurance and flood insurance are different.
I hear that.
Yes. And I don't want to correct Danny, but I heard yesterday, Florida, the whole state is a flood zone.
The entire state?
Yes.
So insurance company has to make you buy flood insurance or they won't insure you.
Correct. So it's like I said, you have wind damage, which falls under hurricane.
Right.
You have water damage, which falls under flood.
Okay.
So
you got to get them both.
And it's getting crazy. It's about double what it costs you in New Jersey. So you're right. It's almost canceling out the property tax.
Right.
Where one time the big deal was property tax here is nothing. It's no state tax. A lot of good things. But this other stuff is starting to cancel it out.
I'm sure it is. Because I was talking to somebody months ago and they were telling me that their homeowners is somewhere in the fives and sixes. Thousands of dollars a year, and
right.
Yeah, and that the you know you can't really live down there because the cost of replacing flood damaged property, if you get a water leak in your house, it's ridiculous. I can't imagine your first floor being underwater.
Yeah.
And what that would cost. And you know, you say, well, I'm not going to get flood insurance. I'll just fix it myself. You're not going to fix that yourself.
Nah, that's a lot, yeah. So I'm looking, I mean, they're saying average. This is from some of the news, so we can change. But flood insurance averages around $900.
Okay.
Hurricane insurance is $600 and up. Okay. This is on top of your regular.
Yeah. That's the riders.
Insurance.
Yeah, that's the riders.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's you talking $4 or $5 grand a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bishop.
Yeah.
I saw this thing. I'm gonna try to head there this afternoon. From 1933 to 1978, there was something here called the Orange Blossom Classic.
Yeah.
Which, because of Deion Sanders, it's back.
Really?
And Florida A&M against Jackson State gonna go at it, and they're gonna have a big celebration like they did years ago. And I'm glad to see these schools are going to be on national TV.
Yeah. It's
Deion,
helping.
I know he's not with Jackson anymore.
They were just on.
But it did so much.
Yeah. Jackson State was just on ESPN. Their first game was last week, I think. And Deion's first game in Colorado was at noon today.
I wonder at what point are they going to really cover them like they cover the majority of schools. I mean, because we've done TV before, the camera coverage is minimal. The dynamics are not there like they are at other sports. The advertisement is minimal at best. The types of support they're getting, unless you have something like State Farm or someone that because black people need insurance too. So
the championship game gets a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Alright,
Talk to
have a great day.
You too. Now, bye bye. Ava.
How's it going?
How you doing, daughter?
How you doing?
Let me pause it. I thought I paused it. I did not. What's going on?
We good to hear from you. How's the family?
I've been trying to call for a couple of weeks. I wanted to call when the docs came out, and then I woke up at like 10:30. So I was like, well, there's that.
Man, I remember those days.
How's everybody?
Day to sleep. Everybody's good. I dropped my one kid off at college last week prior to that, so she's all moved into the dorm.
Okay. Where's she going?
She went to Utica University,
okay.
So she stayed close.
Good.
Yeah.
And,
that's very good.
Yeah, we were trying to. She wanted to go to NCCU, and then as we started getting closer, she started getting a little anxiety about it, leaving. And I said, "Listen, you the one that wanted to go down there. I didn't tell you had to go down there. You want to go to the one that's closer? Stay close. You got a full ride scholarship. She gets like $38,000 in grants and scholarships and stuff.
Okay.
Like we had to pay like $4,000, and that was basically to cover her to stay on campus.
Right.
I said, get the experience and stay on campus. You don't got to stay at the house, blah, blah, blah. And guess where she at this weekend? At my house. She pulled up last night.
Well, I think it's so much more important. Even when they go to college, you got to be able to put your hand on them. Mm-hmm. If there's trouble, you got to be able to put your hand on them. Mm-hmm. They can stay on campus and all that if they want to, but they can't be 9 hours away, and you got to catch a plane to go get them, or going to take you 13 hours to drive there in a car. If there's trouble, you need to be able to put your hand on them.
That was the reason why we chose NCCU, because my grandmother and my aunt.
Okay,
right
there you go. There you go.
I was like, okay, so we can somebody gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might take 13 hours, but grandma gonna be there.
They can get there in a few minutes.
I feel like the school prefer meeting grandma anyway.
Now, Ava,
they think I'm bad. They don't know where I got it from. This is a lineage thing.
Ava, I wasn't referring to you having a problem with the school. I was referring to the child having a problem in the environment.
Listen, it be the environment. This one, if something goes down, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, if you send Kamal down there, it's like I got to go down there for Kamal, because that boy, I got to lay hands on that child daily. I make him pray with me before he walk out the house, because I told him that is mini-me, male version.
Is he?
I know how I get. So I got to, Kamal, come talk to me. I know you going out today, and you gotta go down and tell Myra for this game. Listen, don't do this, don't do this. Gotta let stuff go. And he be looking at me like, you be letting stuff go, Mom. Listen to me, son. Listen to me.
ain't that something? Ava telling you gotta let stuff go. You gotta let
The boy is male version me, and
is he?
So it is like my husband looks at every time he does something, he looks directly at me and he looks at me like it's disgust.
It's your fault. It's your fault. Your son.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's my son all the time, and I can't even deny it. I'd be like, he right. I'm sorry. And then I can't even chastise the child half the time, Bishop. I have to send my husband, and I'd be like, listen, I'd have done the same thing. So it's hard for me because he told me the story, and I'm with him.
You got a mini-me.
You got him away from
got
your
a mini-me.
weaknesses.
Yeah. Got him away. I'm glad you sent your husband. Because you'll be talking about, how many.
Room, and I'd be like, you got to go get him. And he's like, what happened? I said, it's wrong. I said, but I'm not mad.
How many times did you hit him, son? Only twice?
I'm like, what did you expect him to do? I'm in here making a case for the boy. And I said,
isn't that parenting sometimes?
You go out there first.
She's a defense attorney. That's what she is.
Like, I'm not glad you did it, but at least you won the fight.
She got to send the prosecutor in. She got to send the prosecutor in.
I just be trying to see it from his side. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, what did you expect him to do? Like,
she drops into her Jesus mode and advocate with the father.
Right.
Yeah, I go in a room and I let Dad handle it because I'm like, I'm the worst person for this. This is not. I know my lane. This ain't it.
Well, at least you recognize it.
Yeah, I don't want no parts of that. You guys were talking about the floods, and I was looking. Did you see that show, series 5 Nights at Memorial?
No.
It was about Hurricane Katrina. What is it on? I think it's on Apple, maybe.
No, I haven't seen that.
5 Nights at Memorial.
5 Nights at Memorial. It's about what happened during Hurricane Katrina down there, and it was focused on Memorial was the name of the hospital.
Okay.
When I tell you my spirit, like, I was watching it, and Johnny's like, turn it off and stop watching it, because you went here ready to start crying, ready to fight, watching TV about something that happened years ago. it disturbed my spirit so bad because it was like the flood had came. Well, they thought they made it through, and then we all know the canal broke, and then the flood came in and all that good stuff, right? So, well, not good stuff, but it came through, and the hospital was flooded. They were not prepared for a flood. Like the generators and the food and everything was like in the basement. So then, of course, the basement, first thing to get flooded. They get shut down. There's no food. People are coming there just because their houses got knocked out. So, you know, you see places like hospitals, churches, you know, that's where you go when you can't be at home. So they got 2,000 plus people in here, you know, and then like they wouldn't let them get evacuated by like private companies. It had to be certain people. They were forced to leave people behind. Like they were just like, if they can't walk down and get on this boat, they're not coming. They left people in the building alive. It was so crazy. And at the beginning, you're like, oh, well, you know, and then as it starts going on and unfolding, like all the things that some of the doctors did and everything, it was so intense. And I feel like it was maybe about 9 or 10 episodes or something like that.
I went down there. I went down there to preach in a couple locations after the Hurricane Katrina, and they literally did not rebuild hospitals in the neighborhoods, shopping venues. I mean, they just did not rebuild it, and the houses and all were just unrepairable and just rows and rows. When they were taking me to the place where I had to minister, I'm asking questions like 10 a second. Well, what about this? What about that? Well, the hospital left, they're not coming back. You know, the medical center left, they're not coming. I mean, literally things that are hubs in the neighborhood, they just decided we're not going to rebuild. And
that is insane.
It was just, it was devastating. I was so saddened by it. And then, you know, I had some people that I knew that left the city and never came back.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. I feel like that would have been me. Like, I just watching it, like, because you know, you watch the news, you hear people. I was in college at that time, so I was in New York City. A lot of them were coming up from New York to New York City to relocate. So you were hearing stories, but when you were watching it and watching some of the decisions being made, it is crazy. Like, and then I understand, like, in that moment, you know, you have to battle your emotions, you have to battle what's going on, and then you also have to be logical, like what can happen, you know. But I just feel like in that one particular hospital, it was handled very poorly, you know, but you're from the outside looking in from a place where you're not under that extreme pressure. So it's also hard to pass judgment on people who are living it when they're running out of water and, you know, people are passing away and all sorts of type of stuff. So you try to, you know, give a little grace over there on the same side, but it's just like, oh my goodness, like what? I don't know. I
got a number of acquaintances there. And one of the things they never published when Katrina hit was that they like Bourbon Street and all that, dry. All they got was rain. They didn't get any flooding because they had the ability to direct where the water was going to go. So there were certain neighborhoods that came through it virtually untouched.
So basically, they were able to choose the neighborhoods.
They sacrificed some neighborhoods
to keep the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just read that was 2005. There's still some neighborhoods that haven't been rebuilt.
I know.
That was 2005.
I know.
Now, no, you've been in business. They're gonna let these things fall over the years. They're patient enough.
20-year plan.
They're gonna buy them up if they haven't already.
They're doing it now.
And
they're doing it now. Just like they let South Street go in Philadelphia. And then all those people came in and bought and renovated.
Well, they're probably going to tear those buildings down, start all
over.
They
have to tear them down.
Yeah, they're going to just...
You know, so the people just got to go where they got to go.
Get the land.
Yeah. Good hearing from you, Abe.
They had the flood in Atlantic City. They told them they wasn't coming back out there. They gave them time. This is evacuation time. If you don't come out here, we ain't coming. Don't call us when you get in the midst of it. We ain't coming out.
And a lot of the houses weren't rebuilt for a long, long time. Ava, we got to go, girl. Tell everybody I said hello. Tell your husband I said hello. And kiss the kids for me when you get a chance.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Well, we're running out of time. This has been On Point. Look, tomorrow we had another great day. 8 a.m. worship. 11 a.m. live worship, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. You don't want to miss our communion encounter. Something really special going on tomorrow. We're going to nail some things to the cross tomorrow. Looking forward to a great time of deliverance tomorrow evening. You know, we're no longer requiring vaccinations. We ask you to wear a mask to keep other people safe. Don't forget about our midweek services at noonday and 7 p.m. That's Wednesday nights. We want to pray with you. Email your prayer requests to social@gotobethany.com. And also subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. We look forward to hearing from you again. For Pastor Nick Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Want to make sure that you come and worship with us tomorrow. We're going to have a fantastic time once again. The Lord God is doing amazing things. The worship is crazy. The Spirit is tangible. The salvations are multiple. It's just an awesome time. You want to be a part of what God is doing as we experience this new wave of glory. For Pastor Nick Smith, I'm Bishop David James. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and see you next time on Point.